Hi guys, I decided that 2026 is going to be the year that YouTube stops intimidating me. I'm sorry that I'm sick, first of all, but I'm on every other platform. I'm doing well on every other platform, but YouTube has just scared me so much that I have never actually really put any effort into it. So this year, I'm going to put some effort into it. My life is so crazy, and I feel like I have so much to talk about, and it would be really entertaining for you guys. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about what's going on recently. So the service dog and disability community is pretty small, and if you know someone who has like a social media platform, or if there's someone who has a social media platform who has a service dog and has a disability and posts about it, and you live close to them, you probably know them really well, just because it's really tight-knit. Even if you live like a city over, you probably know who they are really well, just because everyone talks. So after I moved to Tucson, Arizona, I met this girl and I got to know her and her family. She has a baby and she has a husband. Well, she did, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. And I helped her catch a cheater. I helped her catch her husband cheating. And I guess with my history of really, really bad relationships, like from 8th grade until I was probably about 24, I've gotten really good at helping people catch toxic relationships before they get too bad, or help them, stop them, or help them realize what's really going on. And so this is one of those times. So we met up with her baby and my 2 kids and her husband at the time, and we got to know each other. And then she started like talking to me more and more, and she told me that at one point her husband seemed really nice. When we went out to eat together, he was like, kind of overly helping, as if like he was putting on a show. And I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So she was telling me a little bit later that her husband was saying that he felt bad about how he couldn't handle the baby very well, and how he couldn't handle her very well because she has some sensory issues and like autism, things like that. And she doesn't have obvious autism, but she does struggle with certain things. And he was saying that he wanted to take a break because he couldn't help with it very well. Now, mind you, when I went out to eat with him and her baby and my husband and our kids, he seemed like really, really overly nice. So I was like, automatically, something seems like it's up, because he could handle it then. And you don't see what's behind closed doors, but there's literally, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's no reason why someone who has a child with someone is just like, yeah, I think we should take a break because I just don't handle it very well, and that's not fair to you. Like, that's not something a guy usually does. So I told her I felt like that didn't make sense and that something was up. And so she was begging for him back. She's younger, and I feel like an older sister to her. And I was like, girl, we don't beg for men back. We don't do that. And she loved him so much. She just kept saying, I love him so much. Like, I don't want him to feel bad about anything. I just want him back. And I'm like, okay. So she calls me about a week and a half later, and she tells me that, like, she's freaking out a little bit, but she tells me that some random girl from his job, or says that she works at his job, said that he's cheating on her with another girl. And this person says the girl's name, and I look at her Facebook account that she messaged her from, and it looks like a very long-term fake account. Like this person had a fake account for a really long time, but these pictures aren't real, and this isn't who the person says they are. So I go to the Safari page of the Facebook account, because I'm like, if this is a long-term fake account, maybe the real account name is in the username. So when you go to like the search bar on Safari, and you click the Facebook / like the username, it will show like what the person chose as their username when they first made the account. So the account name was actually the name of the person that this girl said that her husband was cheating on her with. So automatically I'm like, hey, I think the person who told you that your husband is cheating on you with this specific named girl is that specific named girl, because the username is the name of that girl. And my friend who I'm like helping with this, she knew who this girl was, because like her husband was friends with this girl, just like casually talking, and he talked about this girl, but he's apparently talked about her in a very nonchalant way. He was just like, yeah, she's pretty, but she's like a little on the bigger side, which is so rude, first of all. But I was like, yeah, that seems, it's very odd, and I think this is legit, because her husband had said, you know, people are talking about me and like making up things. And even her husband accused her of cheating because people at his job were saying that, like, his wife cheating on him. And I was like, yeah, that's a red flag. You know what a narcissist does? And not to say he's a narcissist, but he seems like such a narcissist when we got down to the bottom of things. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But usually people who are making really bad decisions that they know were wrong will often blame other people as if they are doing those same exact things, because they just feel like it makes up for them doing it almost. And I had been in that situation so many times that I was like, okay, here's what you need to do. You need to go to his job. You need to catch him in the act, because you're not going to get over him. You're not going to you're just going to let this go and think, like, let him talk himself out of this if you don't see it firsthand. And he had told her that he was staying late after work to talk with some friends, or like just to sit in the car and talk with some friends. So I told her, you need to figure out where he is, and you need to like just go to his work and see if like that's where he's going, because this girl said that they were planning to meet that night, like that girl and him, even though I'm pretty sure that that fake account was really just her. What's odd is when she got there, he was waiting at a specific part of the job where she worked and he did not. So that was weird. And then once we think he saw the car, he kind of walked the opposite direction. So I tried to kind of like talk her up and say, hey, you can do this. You need to hold him accountable for this, as if he actually did it, because we know that he did. Like, after all of the red flags and signs and stuff, like, you know. And she was like, yeah, I do know. So she took the baby to someone who could watch the baby, and she confronted him outside. And instantly, I was on the phone because I wanted to be like a witness, and she wanted to have a witness because she didn't want to feel like she was crazy or get gaslit in the future. So she confronted him instantly. He was just like blaming her, bashing her, telling her like what a disgusting person she is for even confronting him, not trusting him, like why I would be on the phone. And when he realized that I was on the phone, he started coming after me. Like, he was so nice to me and my family. If you did nothing wrong, you don't instantly just start getting really, really defensive. And she like confronted him in such like a polite way at first, and it was direct, but it was polite, and he lost it. He choked her. He told her she has to get off the phone or he's not going to talk about anything. He tried to disconnect her phone line because they're on the same phone plan. And I told him, I said, if you disconnect her phone right now, I'm going to call the police, and I know exactly where she is. And she had sent me her location. And I was like, I know exactly where she is right now, so I could send the police there, because I don't feel like she would be safe in that situation. Meanwhile, while he's having this debate so that he can't, call this girl and warn her and like try to manipulate her, I was talking to her. I found her social media and I was talking to her, and I was like, hey girl, like, I'm totally on your side. I know that he probably lied to you because I see the kind of person he is right now. And I told her like, hey, he's with his wife, and like, we just want to know the truth for her sake. Like, she wants to move on. Ended up talking to her on the phone, and she told me that they had sex, like that they were the night that he went to go play that game, he met her at a hotel. She has kids, and he was telling her that he's going to be a good dad to her kids, and that like him and his wife had broken up for a while now. Just, the basic manipulation and lies. Because I had a voice recording of the entire thing. She didn't even believe what was going on until I showed her that recording. So at this point, we know exactly what he's done, and she's still struggling like with the truth, because one, it's a hard truth to accept, but he's lying and he's taking his lies to the grave, which is what a lot of really nasty guys who are really bad for relationships do. Told her, hey, like, you can come over to my house if you need to, like, you can stay for a little bit. I have a spare bedroom that you can stay in that's meant for guests, so if you and the baby need to come, like, you can come for a little bit, so that you don't have to stay in the same house with this guy. I told her, like, if anyone should be the one to leave the house, your own home, it should be him, because he's making all these decisions. But he told her, if you want to believe all these lies that people are spreading, if you want to believe that I'm a cheater, then you need to be the one to leave. And I was just like, that's so crazy, because he knows that he messed up and he's making her leave. Like, what a disgusting person. So I told her, like, you can come over. So eventually she grabbed all of her stuff she could, his dog and her dog, and she came over to my house. I have 3 dogs, so there's 5 dogs in the house, but I have a pretty, like, decently sized home, so it wasn't bad. But I, like, talked her through it that night. I stayed up with her and I told her, hey, like, I'm here for you. I inserted myself essentially to help you get through this, so I'm gonna continue to help you get through this. And like, obviously you can't live here, but you can stay here as long as you need. So we figured it out, and she eventually found a place to go. He kept taking his lies to the grave. This other girl talked to me, but she didn't even really want to talk to my friend at the time, because she was having a hard time believing it, and she was like, I need to talk to him first, because she was still in this mindset that, like, maybe we were making it up, maybe him and his wife were not really together, and maybe, like, you know, they weren't both having sex with him at the same time in the same, like, time frame. And so she was like, I need to talk to him first. And my friend is like the one trying to, like, make sense of all of this, and she's, like, starting to believe his lies too. And I'm seeing through all of it. I'm like, girl, like, both of you guys, he's lying to you and he's lying to you. He's lying to both of you. Like, this is a really disgusting person, and neither of you guys deserve him. But he's so good at manipulating you guys that you guys are both fooled right now with different stories. He's telling you guys separate lies. You guys both have children. You need to take this more mature than he is right now, and, like, just see it for what it is. And neither of them really wanted to really talk to each other about it, but I talked to both of them. So eventually they talked to each other after, like, I think 24 hours, and they realized that he is a complete liar. And she met up with the girl at her work, where he also worked, and she, like, talked to him about everything. She played with her baby, and so yeah, this guy was so good at manipulating that even after that conversation with each other, even after they met up in person, he had convinced this other girl, not even his wife, this other girl, that, like, he wanted to be with her this entire time. He broke up with his wife because of her, even though, like, he had been seeing this girl far before he had broke up with his wife. Like, he was just a cheater. That's just what he was. And I was like, if he does it to this girl, he's going to do it to you. Like, the pattern will not change. I don't know how you could even believe that he would be a different person for you if he can't even be a father for his own child. He can't even be a good, like, person in a relationship for her. Mind you, I am in no space to be, you know, like, hanging around people who I don't really relate to in this way, but we relate on the terms of disability and service dogs. And I have been here, not with children, not married, but I've been here, and I've seen relationships like this. I've seen men like this, and the thing that I want to do most is help girls get far away from that, because an abusive person will always be abusive, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally. He was all of them, and I'm pretty sure he would be a diagnosable narcissist, but because he was just so insane. Like, I couldn't even believe the things that were coming out of his mouth. But I was having deja vu of like a person or people who were just like this. I've helped other girls in relationships with men who talk exactly the same way too. And I was just like, I've seen this so many times. You have to believe me when I tell you he's lying. And so eventually he admitted to his lies. He told her, you know, like, I should have told you from the beginning. I should have been a man about this. And the only reason he told her the truth is because this other girl told him to tell her the truth, his wife, about like the relationship that had been going on, and that would be the only way that she would give him a chance, which is so crazy. So I guess even though he told her, she still didn't give him a chance. She was just like, no. So my friend ended up moving to Oklahoma to be around better support with her child. The dad never checked on her child. That's unfathomable to me. Unfathomable to me that like a dad wouldn't check on his child. A parent wouldn't check on their child. This entire time that they're arguing, this entire time that she's staying with me, he doesn't even see how his child is one time. Like, when she's over there and she stays the night because she needs to gather her stuff and she's just in a separate room, he does not even check on his child. She gives him grace, like so much grace, and has so much forgiveness in her heart. She's like, I still love him even though he did all this stuff. I'm like, that's a hard no for me, but like, it's not my place at this point. Like, I helped you figure out the truth. And so she invites him to church and he's like, no, I don't want to go. So eventually she like just gives up and she's like, okay, like, he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me. I don't need to be in a relationship with him, which I'm like, yes, girl, you finally figured it out. You finally got over that bridge. So she moved to Oklahoma and she reestablished care for her chronic conditions there. And I helped her find a doctor to help her get the diagnosis she needed for POTS, which is great. And she's doing well in Oklahoma. She has a house there by herself and she's a single mom. She's doing so good. I'm so proud of her, and she's around better support now. So that's so good. But he is still here. He's still in Tucson. Not in Tucson. He's in Sierra Vista. But he's still here and he still works at that job with that girl. So I don't know if they're still, you know, in a relationship or mingling or whatever. I don't really know. But I hope she knows better. I really do. I hope she knows better, because that guy is not good. One, he's not even good looking either. Like, not to be mean, but he's really like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, he's like crackhead on the side of the road ugly. Like, I just don't get why these two girls are like, and these are pretty girls. Pretty girls. And they're pretty inside and out. I don't understand this. I don't understand how men can do this. So that has been my life recently. And what I've been not struggling with, but like helping people go through and struggling with them, because when I invest myself into somebody's predicament, my whole heart's in it, and I feel pain for them. I really do. So I'm so glad that that's over for the most part. She's also struggled with the fact that he's the dad. I've been really sick. Me, my husband, my two girls have been so sick, and I've had a blood clot, and I've been waking up. Oh my goodness. I've been waking up hallucinating in the middle of the night. When I don't take Ativan at night, I take it because I get focal seizures at night. I get nocturnal seizures, which are kind of like, how do I explain it? It's like a surge of deja vu, like big emotions, the colors changing, and you feeling kind of out of body, and you not being able to focus. Sometimes you're unconscious, or unresponsive, but you're still like, your eyes are open, you're just staring. So it looks like you're having like a staring spell type of thing, but you don't know what's going on. You don't even know that you have it. And so I get those in the middle of the night, and it wakes me up after. And I don't know if like the hallucinating is part of it, but I have been struggling. and I've had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in your lung, and I've had like 5 of them now. So this one is really bad, and I know something else is going on because I lay down at night and I can't breathe, and it's so bad. I'm not getting enough oxygen. I'm so air hungry that when I take Lovenox, which is a blood thinner, it gets a little bit better, but not so much for like a couple hours. So I was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning thinking I was about to die from no oxygen, because every time I laid down, I was like I just could not breathe, and it was so much work to lift my chest. My chest was so heavy, and I was like, is this like the representation of a heart attack for women? Because that runs in my family too. And I have vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so I'm like, oh my god, am I dying? So every time I would lay down and I would just like let myself go low on oxygen, I would start hallucinating. I would hear the baby like crying at night, and she wasn't actually crying because she wasn't even in the house. She was with her abuela. Or I would think somebody's breaking into the car, think I'm talking to Ruben, think I'm looking at my phone. I thought like I was taking the dogs out at one point. I was delulu, so delulu, and like I would come out of it and I would go back in it. I would come out of it and go back in it, and I couldn't tell what was malfunctioning in my body. Like, was it my seizures? Was it the pulmonary embolism? Was it the fact that I wasn't getting enough oxygen because of the pulmonary embolism? Was it something else? I have no idea. But like, it was obviously a physical thing, not mental. Like, I was also having very vivid dreams and very light sleep, and I woke up like 15 times. But I take Ativan at night, and it helps me go into a sleep immediately, and it helps me not have seizures at night. And I can't take that, because if I go into a sleep when I have a pulmonary embolism and I go into a very deep sleep, because Ativan slows down your breathing, I could basically die because I'm not getting enough oxygen already. So I know my body, and I knew that I couldn't do that. So I stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 8 a.m. and I had woken up so many times in the night. I was like sitting up and having hallucinations. I was sitting up and I was just like, please make it stop, please make it stop. I was praying. I was like, please God, let me not die. Is this the reason why I had such a good night with Ruben? Like, it was my last night. I was telling myself everything. This has happened a couple times since I've been sick because of this pulmonary embolism, and I keep missing my blood thinner medication dose times. Like, I keep skipping them sometimes. But I really need to not do that. I think I'm just a little too used to the, like, having a blood clot, that I am taking a little bit of advantage of the fact that I'm used to those symptoms. But I need to take it seriously because it is a serious thing. I've also been taking moments to just stop and relax and look outside. Like, just, I have a bench by my window, and I've just been taking a moment to just, like, acknowledge nature, because I feel like I have been on my phone a lot. So I've been trying to, journal and do things like that. I've been helping my children with their paperwork for DDD. DDD is Developmental Disabilities Department. And so when a child gets DDD, it means that they have some type of developmental disability. Both of my children have had seizures. One of them has the seizure gene. One of them, I think, had febrile seizures, if I'm being honest. The one that has the seizure gene also has the autism gene that I carry. And so she struggles so much. And I recognize it because I used to struggle like this as a kid too. She can't handle music. She can't handle sound. She has headphones on all the time. She struggles so much. So one, my youngest is already associated with DDD and early intervention because she had a leg issue as well. They both have Blau syndrome from their father, and that causes a lot of inflammation and juvenile arthritis. And her little sister has had or my youngest, has had a struggle with like walking at a young age, and she's had some hip problems and leg problems, so we have had to get her physical therapy for that. So what DDD does is they kind of integrate all the doctors together and make a plan for the child. Early intervention does this mostly, and with DDD, you kind of get the help you need doctor-wise a little bit better, and then they want you to do ALS Tech, which is like long-term care. They have been telling me to sign both my children up and send an application for that because they really do need it in different ways. I thought that like I would give my issues to my children, like vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was my biggest concern, my biggest fear. And they actually ended up, when they were tested positive for Blau syndrome, and my oldest tested positive for Loeys-Dietz syndrome. And so they diagnosed her with it because she had signs at birth of having heart issues. Loeys-Dietz is very similar to Marfan and vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. A lot of people say that it is the very in between of both. So she struggles a lot with her eyes, her brain, her heart, her structure. I thought that all of these things would come from me, but we found out after they were diagnosed with Blau syndrome that their dad has Blau syndrome and brittle cornea EDS, which both of them also have. I don't know how it will affect them. Genetically speaking, they have it, but they're really, really young. Their dad has a blood vessel rupture in his eye because that's what happens with brittle cornea EDS. And so I just so happened to meet and fall in love with somebody who had a different type of EDS that was also genetic, which is, it's lovely. So yeah, they have that, and I feel terrible, but hopefully they'll get the help they need with the programs that they're in. With the oldest, because I didn't do early intervention at a young age, I just really didn't know much about it, was a new parent. They go through Child Find, and they go through the school district, and she's in an inclusive preschool. She's not in it yet, but we have been doing meetings there where we're finding EIP or EIP and a 504 plan for her so that she can be successful in school when she starts. So I'm so glad that she has that. She did get the autism genes for me, and she did get a lot of the sensory stuff and just like that ADHD and things like that from me. I struggled with it so much as a child, and as an adult, I found a better way to manage those things and live in the world like successfully. But and I had a lot of therapy to talk normal too. But I feel bad that like they're dealing with so much. So hopefully I can, be the best parent I can be, because I understand the struggle a little bit, and their dad understands the struggle a little bit, and yeah, they can be successful. Anyways, I'm talking in circles. I'm going to let you guys go. I've been here quite a while. Hope you guys enjoyed my story. I will come back with the latest next. There's always something, and I'll see you guys soon.